guys, it's Nick. We got Chris and Anthony here. We're on the car ride home. We just finished listening to Once Bitten and Balorian's hour and 45-minute recap and their thoughts and everything. So we're going to kill some time on our 8-hour drive and just chat a little bit. So me and Chris will give our impressions, but why don't we just start with Anthony? Sorry, I lost my voice during the weekend. We'll start with Anthony because he's got something to compare it to. So what were your thoughts between last year and this year, and were you...
Well, I definitely think it was a bigger event because last year they split that room with 40K as well. And obviously this year, we had 98 people, something like that, basically 49, 50 tables. So it was a much larger event. There's also a lot more army diversity. I think the most one army was represented was like 10 or 11, which is, about 10%. We had 2 armies not represented, Beastmen and Wood Elves, which was kind of upsetting. I mean, Beastmen we knew going in wasn't going to be represented. There was supposed to be one Wood Elf player. But a much more diverse set of armies. It wasn't just all about the Demon Prince, so that was really cool. A lot of special characters. I think that's mainly because the High Elves and the Dark Elves came out and they do special characters so well. So we saw a lot of that. And I don't feel like there was that much tenseness. Like last year was like the first time I don't even say the big YouTubers Once Bitten Balorian and myself were all there, and it was like this big rah-rah thing. This year we doubled down. You 2 guys came. We had Unleashed War Gaming. We had a couple other guys as well. Sorry if I forget you. I can't remember.
Warriors Vault,
Tunifa Sandwichy, a couple other people. So there was a lot more out there, and I like that because I don't like a big deal being made out of us. We're just the idiots who actually take pictures of our mistakes. But I thought it was really fun, and I thought they did a really good job of running the event this year. And, I had a really good time.
Yeah, to touch on that, it was cool putting a lot of faces to the names that you chat with online, so I think that's awesome. And just to spend, me and Chris went to Anthony's Thursday, and then we drove Friday, and then played Saturday, Sunday, now we're traveling back on Monday. It was just a Warhammer freaking packed weekend with not only games, but lunch, breakfast, dinner. Everybody was talking freaking Warhammer and shit, and it was fun to go out and hang out with different people. Like, our first night there, we went to dinner with, 8 guys that, we just met and decided to talk with. So that was tuna sandwichifies people, so. But, Chris, what were your thoughts?
I had a good time. I thought the venue was gigantic. That was my first impression, is when we walked in, being from New York, honestly, and I know this sounds silly, we were just like, how do they support a venue this size? So, it was really cool to see such a big room where they have lots of dedicated space for people to play multiple games at the same time. I really like seeing that there was army diversity there, because like Anthony said, I had seen the previous year that right after the Warriors of Chaos book came out, right? It was only a month after the Warriors of Chaos book came out.
Yeah, it came out in March.
Everybody was riding that bandwagon when the other books aren't out to deal with it yet. So it was nice seeing a little bit of diversity. I do wish, and I was surprised that we didn't see more Wood Elf players. I know the book had just come out. I figured that some people would jump on that bandwagon just because the book was out and they wanted to play it out at 3,000 points. What better way to explore everything right away? But that didn't happen. But I enjoyed the time down there. It was fun hanging out with everybody. Everybody's really nice. All the other YouTubers are really, really nice. Anthony's questionable, but, we're used to that at this point.
Well, to digress a little bit with the Wood Elves, Anthony touched on this a little bit. Are the Wood Elves even meant for brawlers, new book or not?
I think that if you like the list, and I only have a couple games under my belt, and I'm not a Wood Elf general. I'm a guy who plays Wood Elves, which is a big difference. I own an army, I played a couple games. I certainly don't have a lot of experience, played no games with the previous book. But I feel like for my 2.5k list, the double level 4, 1 to Shadow hanging out in the back, and then 1 to Death, and a fast cav unit of Sisters, who can sling Purple Sun is a good combination, because Purple Sun, as we know, is the ultimate spell to kill a lot of models, and you can combo that with Shadow with Miasma to lower initiative. Even High Elves or other Dark Elves that have high initiatives, when you put those 2 together, your Purple Sun can net about half the unit or more. I think that's the only way Wood Elves can rack up a tremendous amount of kills. Otherwise, they're all about, just evasive and picking up a couple 100 points here or there, and Brawlers doesn't reward that kind of mindset. That and the book hasn't been unlocked yet. So, I think Dwarf book more or less just kind of got unlocked. I don't know what it is, but you're seeing a lot more comfort with the Dwarf players and consistency. I think the Wood Elf book is, a combination of not a lot of people played it before. It's a hard army to play. it's brand new in Brawlers. I think that all meshed together and wound up being a lower turnout. But I agree with Chris. 0 is really unexpected. I at least expect to see 1 or 2.
With the new book, I expect to see 1 or 2.
Yeah.
There was 1 signed up, but he didn't even show. So, all right, Chris, how did you feel about your list?
I felt really, as Anthony throws a coffee cup at me, I felt really, really good about my list going into the tournament. Very offensive. I had a little bit of stuff to get in the way, just in case, but I was going to do my Brawlers mentality and just push forward.
Say your list real quick, because I don't even remember it.
Oh, my list was 47 Savage Orcs. It was 47 Savage Orc Biggins, 40 Black Orcs, 40 Squigs with 14 Herders. It was 2 units of Wolf Riders, 2 Pump Wagons kitted out with 2 Rock Lobbers, 2 Doom Divers, and 8 regular Trolls. So I had a very aggressive offensive list where I literally just kind of went board edge to board edge most of the time. I faced some tough opponents round 1. My game round 1 was a little bit disheartening, but honestly, at the end of the tournament, I don't know if it was my list that I wasn't thrilled with, or my results that I wasn't thrilled with. I'm disappointed in the tournament for myself, but I can't channel whether it was my list or me. I'm not sure. So, I'm still trying to digest that in this 12-hour car ride, trying to figure it out, but...
And we're going to get your reports up this time?
Yeah, you're going to get my reports up this time, don't worry, and these are all of me losing, so...
My list, I know, I brought the 2 Hell Pits and the Doom Wheel, and everyone will always shit on that, but the thing that I got shit on all weekend from Anthony was the Bell.
Not just Anthony, everybody. Like, there was the Lure of Fire from Once Bitten, and then right underneath that was Nick's Bell. Like, Malorian said it, everybody said it. You don't put your guy in a bell. But
I know.
Continue.
But it was fun. It's so random, you don't know what it's going to do. With possible spoilers in this video, it helped me beat the freaking dwarf player when he had freaking 10 war machines. I roll up the result where it's anyone with strike 7 takes D3 wounds. I kept rolling 5 to 6s. All of his artillery just disappeared in 1 turn. So it's very gimmicky and fun. It's not the most competitive choice, but whatever. I'm happy with it. I wasn't there to go for the number 1 spot. I was there to go for fun and meet people, of course. But what place did I end up finishing in?
I don't remember.
50 something, I think, but. And the Bretonian list, which I was super surprised. Me and Anthony were able to play a practice game. I always laugh at Bretonian because my experience has always been funny with them. I haven't had issues with them, especially with Skaven, but at 3K, you were able to do some interesting stuff.
Yeah, the character walls are pretty ridiculous. I'm just going to let that ring through. It's not a big deal. But the character walls are pretty ridiculous. I always got my charges, and that's really important for Bretonian to always get their charges. I had a lot of ranks, so it was the ability to break steadfast, and I got savage every game, and I didn't always get it off every game, but I got it off in more critical instances than not, and I think I got some pretty favorable matchups. I mean, barring Game 3 and Game 5, the other 3 games, when I look back at them, I feel like I got better matchups for Bretonia. I got 2 Empire matchups, Game 1, Game 4. They both were running, Cav units, and whenever you try to play Cav on Cav with Bretonia, if you're running the character walls, I think they do a lot better. But I know I got a lot of pushback about, you should run more Lances, because I'm running like 11 characters. I max my hero and Lord's points, and I'm 100% certain, and I think in the Battle Report you'll see, more Lances are not the solution for Bretonia. I think the Errant Knights and the Realm Knights combined the whole tournament maybe killed 15 things.
Right, it's all heroes.
It's all about the heroes doing damage. It's all about the character wall and allocation of attacks. And the Lance is like the most important thing to Bretonia, even more so than the Blessing, although the Blessing is really good. So I was really surprised at the performance of the Brett's, and I'm really happy about it.
Awesome. What about the scenarios? Were there any of those scenario cards or the lucky days that you guys think really helped you gain points? Well, how many cards did you end up getting, Anthony?
I got 2. I got the Flea one, which is pretty easy to get, and I got the one for killing the enemy general, which are both pretty easy to get. The other ones I didn't get. I found Bretonia had a hard time getting the cards locked down. I didn't use any of my lucky days. I really didn't need them. The only one time I could think I needed it was at the end of Game 5. I had a charge where I needed to roll a 6 on Swift Stride to get Lord Floppy Bird into a cannon, and I rolled triple 1s. So I guess there I could have used my lucky day to get in, but that was like at the end of the tournament. It would have netted me like another 100 and whatever points, whatever the Iron Blast was worth. It was irrelevant.
Would
The
you
lucky
be
day
once
was
bitten with the extra 100?
Nah, you lost to once bitten by 600, 700 points, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So no, it wouldn't have made a difference. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the cards. They used to have you cut them out or rip them out and then show them to your opponent and then use them. That was last year. And it helped remind you, because you had the lucky day sitting right there.
Yeah.
Where this year they let you use it twice, and it was built into the packet, and you didn't have to show it. So a lot of people forgot it. And I really didn't need mine, but I also could have used it, and I just never did. So I'm not a huge fan of the cards, but people like them, so that's their thing.
I think I got about 3 or 4 of the cards. My last game, the only one I had left was the one where I don't even think I used the ability. It's like +1 leadership for a round of combat or something. But the extra 500 points was kill your opponent's general, and I was playing it like the unkillable Lord, Dwarf Lord. So I gave up on that like turn 1. I was like, all right, whatever. It wasn't until the end of the game I had nothing left to do except shoot my lightning cannon. He failed out his lookout, sir, and I just freaking wiped him off the table. So I gained 500 points for that. But once I do my battle reports, I'll figure out which cards I got, which I didn't. But how'd you do on the cards, Chris?
I got the flea one, which was really easy. And then I got the one where your casters stay alive at the end of the game. And then, oh man, I can't even remember what the other ones were. I know I got those 2 for sure. I used both my lucky days, one on a 7-inch charge that I just didn't want to fail. And then I used my other lucky days to negate the opponent going first, just because I use it second game, just because I didn't want to be shot up before I got a chance to cast magic and do stuff, so I used it first turn.
Gotcha.
I will take it back real quick. I did use the card to go first game 2 against my high elf opponent, and it gave me the honor of doing what everybody else does every game, roll to go first. And I had the +1 anyway because of the drop amount, and I actually got it, and it made a big deal, because top of turn 1 he had like 70 white lions. I landed 2 direct treb shots, killed like 30 white lions. So it was a really big deal going first that game. So I guess that one card made a difference for me, but more or less I'm not a huge fan of it.
Britonia going first, huh?
Just getting the honor to roll first. It's the second time ever I've even actually gotten the honor to roll. Well, the other time was against the Peasant Army at Outside the Box a couple months ago, and I won that one as well. So it seems like, I'm 100% whenever I get to roll with Britonia. There's 2 games. So.
I haven't fielded a Bone Breaker in a long time, and I actually had a lot of fun with the guy. And some people ask me about that too. They're like, well, that's just one more thing to shoot with a cannon and kill. I'm like, but I'm fine with that, because if you're actually shooting at my freaking Bone Breaker guy, then you're not shooting at the Doom Wheel or the Hell Pits, but
or the Warp Lightning Cannon.
Or the Warp Lightning Cannon, yeah.
But you just killed the Bone Breaker in combat. I don't know why people would shoot at it. The thing isn't that tough.
Because, I don't know.
But the Storm Vermin unit was actually pretty decent for you. I think it was very large, and it was a good opportunity just to get points where points could be gotten.
Yeah.
And that's how Brawlers is. Brawlers mentality is very different. And I think that's a good topic, because I kept telling you guys, for these 5, 6, 7 games, you have to get in the Brawlers mentality, which for me is, I'm going to sacrifice this unit and that unit, but between the 2 of them, I'm going to net that unit, and that's acceptable.
Right.
How did you guys handle getting to the Brawlers mentality? Because I know some people who were there last year, I saw them again this year, and they still were in that, I'm up by 1,000 points, I'm going to run away mentality.
I never ran away. I might not have pushed my Bell unit up as much, and the Storm, I felt like I did a lot of waiting. I did a lot of waiting to see what the Doom Wheel and the Hell Pit would do. Because remember, when you see Skaven move, you forget how fast they move. So if I'm on the 12-inch line, and my Hell Pits and Doom Wheel finally die, I can still move up 10 inches and be in your face right away. So that's what I did with one turn. I used the Vanguard card against the Empire player. And I was going to Vanguard up my Stormvermin right up his flank. The problem was he Vanguarded his Pistoliers. He beat me on the roll-off, so that was a waste of 12 inches. Yeah, starting Stormvermin on the 12-inch line would have been great. But I just had to get used to getting them out there. And I had no problem sending out the... Because I was also questioning about, do I have the Doom Wheels, the Hell Pits sitting on the line, or do I back them up a little bit and move the army with them? But I just decided let them go full forward, do what they got to do. And I had no problem sacrificing them. Where in some games, they try to protect them a little bit and then get them where they got to go. Whoever wanted to fight them could fight them. I was very hesitant about the Storm Banner because I dropped the Razor Banner for the Storm Banner with the Storm Vermin, and then gave the BSB the Eternal Flame. This way you can go wherever you had to between the two units to deal with regen like trolls. But there was 2 games I didn't even use it, and then there was 3 games that I did. And the games that I did use it, I popped it out one game like in the middle. I think during when I played against Lord Inquisitor, I did it in the middle. I did it right in the beginning because he had the 2 Iron Blasters. One game, either way, I did it in the middle. But against the Empire player, it went 3 of his turns and 2 of mine. His cannons didn't do shit. And it was awesome. Against the Dwarf player, it went a couple turns. Even against Ogres, it went like 1 or 2 turns. The Iron Blasters didn't do anything.
It's so funny because in all your practice games, you were like, I don't think I like this banner. This
no,
banner is
because
totally going to screw me over. And you saw it had
right.
its use, right?
Well, the moments that it mattered, because like it was always going into my turn, and like my Doom Wheel hit the steam tank. And I'm like, if the Doom Wheel doesn't fire, I can't beat this army. So the Doom Wheel freaking fires. I got Strength 8, so I got 3 wounds on it at D6, so I crushed the steam tank, and from there the Doom Wheel was able to just run around.
It's like a Bretonian problem there.
Yeah.
If this and this don't go together, I just lose.
So I mean, like the Fire Thrower, there's a couple times where like I needed it to fire, and the Storm Banner said no. But I mean, when I was negating freaking 2 cannons and 2 Hell Blasters from doing anything, and the steam tank from not doing anything, I was pretty happy. So. Actually, it was the Warriors of Chaos turn. Warriors of Chaos game that I decided to use it in the middle, and all of a sudden the Chimeras weren't able to do shit. Even though their movement was high, they needed to fly, which they weren't able to do, so... But, yeah, go for it.
So, the Brawler's mentality was pretty easy for me to latch into with my list. It's just, on some of the games, I found myself waiting. Like, I didn't want to just push forward right away, because some of the units, I was like, I'm not going to be dead if I just run up to it. So I found myself playing a little bit patiently and picking away at it right before I charged. It wasn't quite castling, it was like an extra turn of shooting. But I felt like I played some of the things aggressive, and I felt like I played most of the tournament aggressive, whether I was playing the Dwarf players or against the Ogre players that I played. I was aggressively using Hand of Gork to get things up flanks and stuff like that, which, you know, technically should have worked, but that's a story for another day. And I don't know, I felt that like I had the chance to win matchups and they were coming to me already. So it was one of those things where I didn't feel the need to really be the aggressor when the opponent was aggressing forward. Like that engagement was inevitable. If there's 10 less guys in the back rank when they get there, then I can break it easier. So I found myself playing, I mean, kind of by patient. Sometimes I play too patient, and I know that viewers will say that, but I felt like the patience was what won me a couple of engagements that I had versus, you know, normally where I just don't push forward fast enough. So it was funny because I was looking at myself like, this is what you or tell yourself not to do. But right now it feels like the better thing to do. So I don't know, but the fact that just straight up going for victory points was kind of funny because there was a time where I had like 6 Black Orcs left in my last game, and I was like, all right, what I want to do is run these guys to the corner of the board, but I guess what I'm going to do is go pray they kill 4 Mortfang. So that's what I did, and it ended up working out. So,
really?
Yeah, it was a really tough mentality.
How far was the charge, too?
How far was... Well, they have movement 5 because of the leadership banner. So it was like 6 or 7 inches.
Speed banner.
But I set him up so that he couldn't go around impassable, and I don't think he realized it.
Right.
And so he was like, I'll charge the Black
It's crazy because you're going to make like that, like 15-inch charge, and you're like, I would never do that, but you go ahead and freaking do it.
The way he set himself up, he was like bumped right up against impassable with 2 of the Mortfang. So I was only fighting 2 Mortfang with 6 Black Orcs, just because the others weren't in contact. So I was like, alright, I win. So, but, yeah, I know that was one of those moments. I'm trying to think of the other moments where it was just like, go get points.
There's those moments where you're like, I gotta go get points, and it's like, cool, I'm gonna go scoop up that like 80-point War Machine. Like, but at the end of the day, it all adds up. But you're making some decisions that you're like, I'm gonna let that fast cap go, or am I gonna really go send something after him? Like,
Brawlers really takes you out of your comfort zone. Because
yeah.
First of all, we all play at 2,500.
Yeah,
that's more the standard in the Northeast, and we're very used to special characters normally being comped out. I mean, Crossroads in Elmira, New York, which is by us. We hit up the spring and the fall. There's a lot of comp there. if we're not playing in a comp tournament at 2,500, so not only are we taking on another 500 points, but it's a completely different mentality on how you play your army. It's a completely different mindset. I think it benefited the Bretonian army because a lot of times people will back up to me, but they knew they had to come forward to me, but they knew they couldn't make the long charge, so they gave me situations with makeable charges. But I mean, except for the Ogre game 5, pretty much everybody stood still. Like, they didn't back up, but they didn't come forward either, which was welcome because most of the time people just backpedal to the board edge when I'm playing Bretonia. So
right. Well, I usually never move my slaves. I usually just use them to either chaff something up or protect my flanks. But there's a couple games where I'm like, I'm gonna start moving them up 10 inches a turn and go kill a war machine in the back of the field or something weird. So
yeah.
But another thing is this, without sounding weird, this is the first game I ever got to play against a girl.
yeah,
I played against Lauren, which is Dan Furbish's. Furbish, is that right?
Yeah.
That's his wife, and she was pretty cool. I know he painted up her army, and it looks awesome. So hopefully somebody gets some pictures up. And it was a fun army. It wasn't this crazy Demon Prince army. It had Lord on disc and some Marauders. I mean, I know Marauders are subpar, but it's fun to see some different stuff on the field. But that was cool because she knew her shit, and she was trying hard because I feel like she was like, every time she made a stupid error or made a decision that later she regretted, she's like, my husband's gonna kill me. I'm like, no, it's fine, it's all right. But that's it was fun, it was cool.
Just to go back real quick to the Brawler's mentality a little bit. Something I thought of. The third game, actually it was my fourth game. My fourth game against a Dark Elf player, he had 2 level 4s, level 4 Shadow, level 4 Death, and there was a moment at the end where he just was like, all right, I'm going to take him out of the unit and just throw templates down your side. And that's one of those things where you're in a tournament setting, in the Northeast where we play, and nobody's going to do that. They don't want you to kill both of them. But I was like, all right. So I just killed both of them with war machines. So you don't usually see stuff like that where people donate level 4s. So it was like, all right, 2 level 4 donations. I'll take that swimmingly. So there were moments like that that were just funny because you don't really think of it happening. So it was pretty funny.
Well, guys, thanks for watching. We wanted to keep this one short and sweet, but I think once we get all of our videos up, we're going to record a second video now just about what we might do in our own little hobby world, plus preparation for Crossroads in September, because we might change our armies up, but there's a new comp. We might even chat about that a little bit, because every Crossroads is a different comp, so we'll look forward to that. Check out Anthony's stuff too as he gets ready for comp and for Crossroads, and we'll see you guys in the next video.